Footy.
Saturday afternoon, the sun's shining, it's September, the finals are flying along, the bins are out later, according to Fat, and we've got a nice 2-hour helping of the Saturday rub ahead of the big final tonight at the Gabba between the Lions and the Dogs. For McDonald's, Ream Hot Water and Hard Yakka, of course, Mitch Duncan, not far away. Nice football played by the Cats last night. Fat's a bit happier.
Oh, thank God for that, Jim. I woke up this morning and was happier.
He looked at me and changed his mind.
That is the beautiful influence you are having on this room, though, isn't it? Cannot get enough of it.
I rolled over and I was happy.
Nuff. I was privy to a bit of the preparation for Nuff. I'm liking what Bernard's bringing to the table. A quiz later on, maybe.
I want some time too, please.
Maybe. Just in a second. And a special guest. Around 1:30, you need to be listening. We got a special guest for Fat.
For Fat?
Yep. You don't know who it is, special guest, but we're going to enjoy when this guest comes on the line and reminisces about something that you will enjoy. Hello to you, Duck.
Yes, hello, Jay. I just want to know where you're looking, where the sun is.
Have a look. The sun's shining outside. Beautiful.
Can't you open your eyes?
I wouldn't say that. Bill, have a look out there.
Beautiful day out there, Duck.
Well, sun in Geelong. The sun come up in Geelong.
I was pissed down yesterday, but no, it's beautiful today. Hello to you, Fat, of course.
G'day, Jim. Great to be with you. And I tell you what, it's great to wake up and the Cats have had a win and they haven't ruined my weekend.
All right.
But I think they've got to find another couple of gears, to be honest. But they found one last night.
Very nice. And now we go into state, of course. Bernard, we've banned from Melbourne.
Yes.
We've banned him and we've left him in Adelaide until he can muster up some humility. Welcome to you, Bernard.
Thanks, boys. Good to be here. Good afternoon to you too, Rose. Just booked my flights to Perth. Going over Friday till Monday.
So you can just get in there whenever you want?
I can do whatever I want over here, Jim.
What? So Eddie can't get in there.
That's
but
it.
Bernie can.
Bernie can.
Yeah, all the big names can get in. Don't worry about that.
Are you somehow essential to the game?
I'm essential to after the game. I'm really important, especially if Melbourne are in it.
Oh, nice. Of course, it's a former Melbourne great.
Jumped onto Melbourne's bed, mate.
And Damo's still in quarantine.
How's Damo going in his hotel?
Tell you what.
Laugh all you want, Jim, and laugh as loud as you can, because my government and health official sources over here tell me that you are heading across as well pretty soon. So keep laughing about quarantining.
There's any man that's capable of beating quarantine.
Jim?
Actually,
you're a native.
Well, exactly. I'm a former great of the joint.
No, you're a
Prodigal son.
Damo, just as he's going in, you'll be coming out. I'd go over and sit on his front lawn and have a couple of frothies.
Who else, Damo? Anyone else with Jim?
Well, you going, Duck? I just can't. My sources didn't stretch as far as you, Duck.
No, I'm not. I'm not heading over. I've got commitments just after the grand final, which will require a little bit. Which require a little bit. So I've decided not to quarantine, and very happy to sit back, do some work here, and I'll be doing the grand final with Triple M.
But I just saw BT's PR agent John Anderson, Bill, publish something on the Herald Sun saying that he's going too. So
the Ream Hot Water.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Perth, of course, the grand final's over there.
Yes.
And so what Perth has had is an influx of real AFL heavy hitters.
Yes. Gill went over there.
Gill's there. I saw on the front page of the West he was arriving, the boss.
But our man, Jim Damo, has been there for a week. Now, Damo, we love you.
Hello.
And we love your news.
do you really love me, Bill?
Sometimes. And you love the media. And I tell you what, Damo, you love the sound of your own voice. There's no doubt about that. And it's fair to say, Damien, it's fair to say we hold you back here on the rub because it can get boring. Jim,
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, exactly. So we hold you back.
A little bit like Vegemite.
Yeah, just spread sparingly.
Not bad, Duck.
So we hold you back. We hold you back. And we give you a couple of minutes here and there. Sometimes, actually, we can't go with you because the quiz goes too long, so you get dropped off. But that's all right. But we let you, you're allowed to be the lifeline on the rub, on the quiz, of course. So he's a lifeline and all that. But as the great Spud did say a couple of times, you put a glass eye to sleep. Fair dinkum. Which it. But, wowee. Someone has found a new platform in Perth. A new audience in Perth.
Oh, Mouse.
And he thinks he's funny. No, it's not Mouse. It's not the sporties yet. Well, that's when you will put him to sleep. This is the breakfast show over in Perth with Basil, of course, the Lord Mayor. So Damo is the new. He's the new recruit.
Really?
Okay.
What is he? Is he Triple M? Is he Basil?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
So he does a breakfast show
Yep.
there.
and Xavier Ellis, Jenna
No,
Clark.
I've never heard the other two on it, but it's just Basil and Damo. That's what the show's called at the minute. So let's have a listen to his first day. It was on the phone. He was in his room and he was introduced with trumpets and everything. And Damo, he thought, I'll get in here and I might get a few words in. I'll even have a gag. Let's have a listen. First day.
Really big name. The biggest of all of them. Damien Barrett on the plane as well. Can we confirm that rumour? Is the purple man in town? Damien, good morning.
Hello, Basil, Xavier, and Jenna. Yeah, your mail's right, Baz. There was a plane coming in last night, and I was just on Sam McClure. I saw Sam McClure's hair before I saw Sam himself.
He'll be up and about, Sammy. I tell you what, this climate good for your hair as well, just quietly.
it is perfect.
Ask Ross Lyon, Damo.
Well, I've got none to speak of. Mine's been marching back at a rapid rate for a long time now, so it'll be no good for me.
Oh, no. So a bit of a gag with Sam McClure.
A little bit of Christmas.
Exactly. They liked him that much. They got him back the next morning. Next morning, Jimmy's back on. And have a listen, because he's very proud to be with our man, Basil.
14 days in quarantine, hotel room, some radio gear. I reckon you might lock in a regular cross to us every morning if you don't mind from Monday morning.
If you think I can be of some assistance, I'd be privileged and proud to be part of it at times.
No, we're most certain you can be.
Privileged and proud to be part of it. I'll tell you who's getting a steam up, Jim. He's getting
Thanks, Rosie.
Rosie goes bang.
He's getting a steam up now, Jimmy boy. He's getting very confident. But guess what? Guess what? It only took 2 days, and he goes back to, boring as batshit Damo.
We know that Port Adelaide's got a guaranteed second final at Adelaide Oval. That could be, of course, a second week final, a semi-final. But it also could be a prelim final in the third week. And that would mean, obviously, there'd be just the one in Perth. So, yeah, there's at least one. I expect a formality around...
We get the gist. So it's just gone back to Damo there, feeding. And questions were asked after that show, apparently. Yes. Basil and the team got together and they thought, geez, he was good early, but he's dropped off. But we'll give him another go. And now he's really flying. He's got the steam up and he's got the radio kit in the hotel. And, of course, he's going to sound better. Or maybe
it's
not.
a really, really fortunate setup we've got here. There's fresh air coming in the rooms. The rooms are large enough to get everything we need in. So no, nothing to complain about, and very grateful to be having the chance to be here even before the announcement that it may be in Perth.
No. They'll do.
Fresh air's coming in.
Fresh
was that
air
the funny
in the
bit?
No, I don't know what that was. I don't know.
It's riveting.
Riveting. So then he's nearly as boring as Basil, to be honest, right? So that's why they're getting on. That's why they're getting on really, really well. But then the big news, of course, is Eddie. Eddie can't get into Perth. That is big news, isn't it?
There's no guarantees in anything, are there? And I know that, I got told because my application was done on my behalf, but there were, boxes that needed to be ticked in every significant way. And, look, it's a privilege.
Righto, they'll do. So we're nearly there.
What have you learnt?
Well, no, I'll tell you what we've learnt. They become
Where are you going with this, Bill?
They become best friends. Basil and Damo, they're best friends, and they got very, very close. BFF.
Here's the purple man in town, Damien Barrett's our man. Damo, how goes it? Our man in town. Damo, thanks, mate. Damien Barrett, Triple M's newsbreaker. Good on you, brother. Have another good day.
Thanks all.
Brother.
Mate.
Bro.
So what I've learnt, right?
All right.
What I've learnt
out of all of this?
I never thought anyone would beat Basil in a boring contest.
No!
But our man Damo has Damo Fannigan. That's why we hold you back over here.
Well done, Damo. That's tough. Tough to beat Basil in that competition.
Purple.
Bertie, he'll get you on when you come across too.
No, you won't want me on.
I think we've said to you before, Purple, you got to run this stuff by us. Before you commit to anything like this, you got to run it by us first.
He's the high-ranking show over here, Jimmy. He absolutely runs this town. I can tell that even from my 10 days of quarantine.
Well, and then you wouldn't believe it. Just before we went on air, we're talking about what's happening over there, and we'd like to go over for some lunches and sporties and all that. And guess who said, I'm going to be doing them? Damo!
He's booked up.
Him and Basil are going out together.
Diary's full, Bill. The diary's completely full from the moment I get out of this quarantine.
Oh, Basil and Damo show. Imagine that. Hello, Damo. G'day, Basil. How are you today? Oh, well, thanks, yeah.
I got a little bit of fresh air today.
Hey, I opened the window of my room, and guess what? Some fresh air walked in.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Speaking of stuff that we've got to get our heads around, Nuff coming up, of course.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to that. But Bernard,
Yes.
we're just as not for a while enough, but
Yes.
something caught your ear and eye earlier in the week.
Well, it has. I was just going through a little bit of my audio before with Rose, and you walked in, you said, this must be off the top, you need to play this. But I've got a lot of real estate contacts in Melbourne, as you know, involved heavily. And, well, I've been sent some really, really disturbing audio. And to sum it up, it's agriculture at best.
Agriculture.
G'day, it's Wayne Carey here, and it's time to sell that property. It's time to talk to my mate Johnny Rombo. Rombo has established a unique client list over the last 20 years, from football stars, past and present, to big names in the entertainment industry. He delivers a high calibre of buyer, synonymous with his trusted performance. Johnny Rombotis at Buxton Real Estate, a champion performer on and off the field. Give him a call on 0404 073 365.
Wow. It's like those ads at the cinema where the people do it themselves.
I tell you what.
Who am I?
Haven't I got a
The Amy Klingers for Good campaign has a huge
Haven't I got
334 entries this year.
Haven't I got a really good voice?
No, you can add lib and you can have
good
inflections. You're allowed to have
Oh,
inflections.
really? You don't think I had any of that there?
No inflections.
I thought I nailed that, actually.
Some of those words, synonymous and big
How many
words.
takes?
Anyway,
how many takes
I
was
took
it?
that? By the way, there were 3 different scripts, which took me 15 minutes all up. Rombo had one line and it took him an hour and a half.
Come on, Rombo.
He'd be flat out after seeing that ad.
Duck.
Yeah.
Duck. You know what I just said to Damo about running stuff by us? The same applies to you.
And by the way, Bernie, you just jump onto my Mosh campaign and make it a garden. Talk about the tossers.
Hey, they were saying to me, very, very easy to deal with past people we've had in here. So they were very happy with me, Duck. I'd do anything.
I still deal with them, Bernie, so I'd say I just rank a little higher.
I tell you what.
See how he looked away to the left after that?
I put him on the
Duck's
map.
dirtied up.
He's not happy.
He's filled it up.
He's dirtied up too.
Yeah, okay,
like
Duck.
I think he's got hay fever.
Are we good, Duck?
Yes, Bernie, we're always good, brother.
Yeah, good.
Listen to Bernie.
He's giving me the best
Are we good, Duck? Bernie,
give me the
you're
best.
weak. You are soft. Are we good, Duck?
No, well, I'm stirring him up, Bill.
Hey, Bernard,
Yes.
you know he's in a whole other state.
Yeah.
If you're ever going to say anything remotely controversial to the great man, I'd be getting them all out of the way now.
Good. Well, I've got a few coming up, so that's good. I'm going to go hard.
Right.
Hey, we need to get
Anyone
to a
else
break.
dang shit on?
Just very, I know.
We got Duck, we got Damo.
Yeah.
What about you,
Sucked
Jim?
in.
Your stupid little shorts and your little t-shirt with your
Well,
skinny
he's
little
already,
legs.
You know, he's already dressing like he's in Perth. He thinks he's in Perth already. He's got 1 foot in
shining.
Perth and 1 foot here.
What you got
Sun's
little
shining,
shorts on
it's
for, you
September.
little...
Because he's trying to, you know what?
What is
He's
it,
going that little toffee golfy,
Oh, yeah.
golfy
Collar up.
tennis
Yeah.
collar up.
yeah.
Duck's firing up now.
He'll fly to Perth.
Keep going, Duck.
He'll have his aviators
going,
on when he
Duck.
gets off the plane.
Keep going,
Keep going, Duck.
Yes, Duck. Go, Duck.
I am Perth royalty, actually. So, surely that means I don't have to quarantine.
Oh, yes.
You would have thought.
You've got to. So you know Mark McGowan?
Pretty sure name over there is like enormous.
So Mark McGowan's going through all who's coming through the board. Oh, yeah.
Not because of me.
No, he goes, oh, Eddie Maguire, geez, this is beautiful. Cross. Then he sees Brayshaw.
In.
No, I can't believe that.
In.
I can't.
Where are you staying, Jim? A little,
where are you?
Sam, you would say a little bed sit?
All of those details I
You
don't
got
have.
bunk beds.
I can't
Apparently
wait.
you got bunk beds.
I can't
But
wait to
you
tune in.
and BT have got to work out who's on top and who's on the bottom.
I'll tell you what, you'd rather
I
be
won't
on
in
top.
bunk beds.
Just in case it caved in.
Oh, no.
Bunk beds.
Yeah, BT, imagine BT getting up, JB just sort of strolling out half asleep, BT walking to the shower.
In his job.
Bill, This is from a man whose son can't live in the same house as him for the same reason. That's true.
Yeah.
Max had to move out because Bill kept walking out of his room with nothing on.
Bill.
And there's a little.
He's scarred.
There was a little whisper
Max.
that I've heard, Damo. Here's one you can run with. I heard that little birdie told me that Daisy Pearce will be going over for the grand final, so she'll be going over at some stage. And she had the option of, maybe rooming with Brian and JP and just very politely said, I think I'll stay somewhere else.
You know where she said she'd rather stay? With Basil.
I 100% don't blame her. Red. I wouldn't do that if I was her. We need to get to a break, as I said. Mitch Duncan not far away. Special guest for Fat coming up later. Nice helping of the Nuff Nuff. And the quiz if we have time.
Yeah.
Nice to have your company. Not far away from chatting, of course, to Mitch Duncan after a very nice performance from the Cats last night.
Oh, yes.
Special guest for Fat coming up later too, which I can't wait because... I just like it when he gets uncomfortable and doesn't know what's going on.
No, I don't know.
But we now need to get some news out of the newsbreaker. We don't want him using all his best stuff.
No, because he'll save some for Baz.
We need some of it to come our way, Bernard.
Good luck, brother.
Do you like seafood, Duck?
Do I like seafood?
Yeah.
Not all seafood.
Yeah, right.
Do you like lobster?
Bill?
Where do we get this started, please, Purple?
Jim, just with the grand final start time, we know it has been locked in by Gillan McLaughlin during the week to be in Perth on September 25. It's just now the actual start time that they're yet to absolutely bed down. Look, the latest that I could ascertain as the week unfolded was that 5:30 Perth time is a time that they're talking about quite strongly. That would translate to a 7:30 p.m. start time in Melbourne at that stage.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because the host broadcaster can then get their news out of the way and all the rest of it and hit that prime time start time.
I would think so. So. Again, some other people were talking earlier in the week that it might be a 3:30, 4 o'clock Perth time. So add 2 hours to whatever it is that it is. But I would be thinking the 5:30-ish start time would be the time
Jeez,
to
it looked
begin.
good last night too. It's a great television stadium of the stadium.
And loud.
Oh, yeah. So
Could you
full
hear it,
house on
Damo?
grand final day will look brilliant.
No, I was told I could hear it from where I'm staying, Bill. Even with the fresh air coming in, I didn't hear any noise. But where I am at the moment is quite close to it, and I can't wait to see it because I think I'm one of the few people who haven't yet seen that stadium. Hey, Jim, there's a bit going on at the Gold Coast, as we've known for some time. Josh Franku heading back to Adelaide for family reasons and personal reasons. The footy director, the football operations boss, John Haynes, has resigned after a pretty quick review into what happened there in the last 4 years. He's been there with Stuart Dew for that whole journey, so they'll be looking to replace him, obviously, and I think they'll vary the role a little bit. They'll be trying to get someone in with clout. Stuart Dew contracted for 2022 and will stay as coach, the way I see it at this point in time, but will need to have a far better year than what he's had in the past 4, and particularly this year.
All right, so the conspiracy theorists, Damo,
Yep.
will say that Alistair Clarkson will have his year off and do whatever he wants to do, go and work in the States or do all of that, and then we'll come back and the AFL, because it's a AFL-owned and run club, will then send him up to do that job in 2022.
There's a bit in some of that conspiracy, Jim, and I subscribe to at least part of that possibility unfolding. There's another connection there, as you well know. The football operations boss at Hawthorn in the first of the 4 premierships that Alistair Clarkson won was Mark Evans. So he's running now as CEO of the Gold Coast Suns. Mark Evans, though, is such a professional. He's not going to be putting the pressure on Stuart Dew in that regard. But it's obvious with Clarko being available potentially for that the case. The other contractual situation too, Duck, is that you've got King, Lukosius and Rankin all coming out of contract at the end of next year. This was meant to be the wave of kids who stayed forever at the Gold Coast. And right now, they're all rightly leaving those decisions up in the air to see how the club goes. So it's an absolute crunch time again, and this is about the 4th wave of it being a crunch time for them next year.
Yeah, crucial that they get those guys signed. If they don't, I just don't see how this footy club can continue if they can't hang on to their talent, because that's been the biggest concern. You look at what has happened at GWS. Yes, they've lost talent, but they've been and that's because of salary cap reasons, but they've been able to hold on. Kelly re-signing. I mean, they just haven't been able to do that at the Gold Coast, and it's only take one of those to leave. And I reckon you're better off packing your bags than moving on, Gold Coast, because they're going nowhere.
Hey, Bernie, Collingwood had some issues as we got to know as the trade period played out last year, with the three big names being forced out purely to balance their books. There's still some overhang from that. There's going to be, I feel it's at least a $500,000 requirement to move out yet again. So more drama for the Pies after a season that did not go to plan, and one that they had to sack their coach in and replace him with Craig McRae during the week. But his first trade period, the way I see it, is going to again be quite eventful.
Yeah, but at least they've done well, haven't they? I reckon their coaching, they did that right when you look across town at Carlton. Wow,
Yeah, and we may as well go into that topic now.
What's going on
Bill.
there, Damo? Now, tell us the truth, because, gee, a lot of rumours and things. What happened to Ross Lyon?
The boundaries and the goalposts just keep getting changed by the club itself, Bill. They were very confident about 2 weeks ago that Alistair Clarkson would say yes, and then dramatically he came out via his management on that particular Wednesday of that week and said he's out. And that's the holding pattern holding line for Alistair Clarkson now.
Why did Ross Lyon say he's out?
No, I was talking about Alistair Clarkson there, Bill. Ross Lyon then pulled out, as we know, in the week just gone on Thursday, just simply not wanting to go through a process that he felt that he wasn't going to have to do. And he was entitled to think that, given he'd had private conversations, multiple, with Luke Sayers, who's the chairman. They, though, as a club, decided to instill a 6-person selection committee to find the new coach, and as such, put the candidates through the due diligence that you just referred to there with Collingwood. So he just wasn't going to do that, Bill, and that's his call. But it's also a continuation of the mess that football club has had by way of its own dealings and doings, and more importantly, or equally importantly, the messaging that they've been conveying now to the public since calling for the review at the halfway stage of the season.
Righto, Damo. Now, a man that works with him on Sundays and become very close. BFFs. What's going on?
They've balls it right up.
Who have?
Carlton have.
Right.
I mean, clearly they've had private conversations, which we all know not private anymore, and they've said something to Ross, and they've had some sort of
the job
verbal agreement.
Close to it?
I would have thought close to it, and then they've changed the goalpost on the death knock. Well, not even on the death knock, because now they're going to go through this process, and just the messaging from Ross himself. By the way, I think he's handled himself, given that he's a media performer and had to answer certain questions and hypotheticals. I think he's handled himself magnificently. But why, and he's right in what he says, why would he now need to go through a process, given that he's been a coach for 13 years? Everyone knows exactly what you're going to get. Yep. The guy is proven at going to a club and having instant success. I just cannot fathom how they would muck this up.
Well, so who's the sorry to cut you off there, Jim, but who's the front runner now? Who would you say is in the box seat? Because now it's all of a sudden wide open again.
It's hard to determine that Bernard. Look, I'm a big fan and a big advocate of Michael Voss getting another chance at footy, but he was burnt by what happened in 2019. The club at that stage asked him to be part of what they said was going to be a process, and then in the end, the club itself, as we know, got so caught up and swept up in the David Teague train express that it ultimately became, that they didn't even respectfully get back to Michael Voss and say, look, thanks for showing us your interest, but you're not in it. They didn't even have the courtesy to do that. So he's burnt by that. So I could imagine he'd be starting from at least on the back foot when it comes to the possibilities there. But I'd like to see him be a chance. If Brad Scott wanted to be serious with it, I think he'd be a chance. And again, I know Don Pike took himself out of the Collingwood machinations, but I'd be staggered if they didn't, as a club, at least try to get him interested in taking a phone call on that front.
Given all the circumstances, who would take the job? Given how they jump from one thing to the other, like who would actually want it?
No, but Duck, this is so all the names you're talking about: Ross Lyon, Brad Scott, Al Clarkson, Don Pike. The question, Damo, they're going to ask when they walk in is, have you got a settled board? Yes. What does your chairman look like? Who's your CEO? Is he a corporate wanker, or is he someone that actually understands footy? Who's your footy manager? Is he established and knows what he's doing? What's your medical staff like? What's your fitness staff like? And if you can't tick all those boxes, coaches of that quality, those four I just mentioned, are going to go, I'm not doing it.
Well, that's what's happened.
And that's where they're at. And
that's where you
can't have instability when you're trying to replace the most important employee at your club.
Jim, you take your hat off to Collingwood, because they did have instability with the board and everything, but they've gone through the right process and got the right bloke they wanted.
Have they got any of those names, though?
Well,
I reckon all of those names looked at it and went,
first, you reckon?
No.
It's a good point, Jim. Yeah.
So they've had to go back to
Good point, Jim.
where they've ended up. Not saying Craig McRae won't be very good, but when you've got that body of work behind you like those blokes have, they're just not taking those jobs
Yeah,
on.
good point, Jim.
Damo, okay, we've got more news coming up with you later, but Mitch Duncan, just to get fat back up and about.
Oh, yes.
Look at him. Look how happy he is. He came in under the door last week, and that's hard to do when you're 140 kilos. But today, he's happy.
Oh, Mitchy
Duncan to join
Get
us
him
next.
on, I want to bonk him.
New breed of Aussie legends, hard yakker, of course. Toughness is in their DNA for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. The way they get into finals and win them and get themselves into the top four and into grand finals is you just have to admire it. And this man has come back into the side beautifully. Mitchy Duncan joins us right now, a star of the club. Mitch, welcome to you.
JB, how are you, mate?
Not as good as you, mate. Brilliant footy played by yourself and the club last night after an ordinary week the week before. Everyone expected a response from Geelong and it was emphatic.
Yeah, it was obviously a disappointing week before, but we had a really positive week on the track, and we're sticking all together at the trade winds down in Freo. So it's great to be around everyone and come out with a result this season.
It was very good, Mitchy, and you could tell from the bell when they were the forwards, Myers and Rowan and Close, the pressure, the smothers, the tackles, but also just the contest. Had to win that. That must have been something that was up on the whiteboard.
Yeah, that was a big battle. They're obviously, really talented through that midfield, and Taranto, Hopper, Kelly, Ward, really, really good in and outside players there. So we had to match them there, and I thought we did well in our contests all over the ground, and that went a long way to winning.
Hey, Matt, Mitch Duncan. I was going to say g'day, Duncan.
Yeah, that's Mitch.
We went overseas together too, Bill, at one stage. Ran
you
into
know
each
him
other
well.
in New York.
Yeah, you know him well.
Well, I just forgot his name there for a sec. Hey, Zach Tui, he was a big inclusion last night down back, 31 disposals. Just added some stability that was probably lacking the week before in Tom Stewart's absence.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was... he jumped right out of the gun, didn't he? He come back in fine tune. So he was actually really close to play last week, and we thought we'd just give him that extra one just in case. And I think it paid off because he was unbelievable. Probably one of our better players for the night, and going to be really important with Stewie's absence.
Just on Stewie, can we rule him out? Because you hear that he's going to run this week. Surely he can't play again with the Liz Frank. Right now, we can rule him out or not, Mitch?
Oh, to be honest, Bill, I generally have no idea. Don't have that kind of
you'd say that.
now.
You haven't been training with him and you don't know what he's doing.
Never met him.
Yeah, never met him.
No, he's currently still walking laps, but word is on the street that he might be picking up the pace a little bit this week. So you never know, but it's one of those kind of risk rewards. He's still got a lot of footy in front of him. He's going to be a servant of the footy club for a long time yet, so he won't make any rash and silly decisions. But if he thinks he was right to play, then we'd have to think about it, no doubt.
Hey, Mitch, I thought Smith and Menegola were really solid contributors last night. Almost barometers for me, those two. When they're playing well and they hit the scoreboard, kick one each, I think you're hard to beat.
Yeah, they were awesome. Got off to a great start. Menas and Izzy had the ball in their hands and covered a lot of ground for us. They do a lot of unrewarded running, and when they get the ball, they tend to use it quite well. And as you said, when they hit the scoreboard, take the pressure off the forwards, having to kick all the score, it's really important for the team.
Hey, Mitch, I know that you as an individual and others around you as individuals manage yourselves with great balance and understanding, and I know you do as a club as well, but there was an element of under siege during the week, wasn't there, after the first loss in the first week of finals? You referenced it a few moments ago about just getting away, bunkering down. How intense was it internally, and just the weight of the performances that have unfolded since the last premiership win in 2011, being lopsided against you, but how did you deal with that, and how did you think the club responded to that during the week?
We're probably lucky we're in Perth, to be honest, because you don't really hear as much, I don't think, especially with the Victorian media. So that probably helped one. But I have no doubt players would have, been a bit edgy. Our training was a bit edgy. We were up on our toes, and we're like, I'll use a horse analogy. When they're in the mounting yard, they're up on their toes. They're ready to go. Yeah, it was not an interesting week, but we've been in that position before. I suppose that gave us a little bit of calmness. Training was really good. Yeah, we haven't been great in those qualifying finals, but we've generally bounced back well. And I've been thinking, we're just lucky to be in this position year after year. Very privileged to be at the footy club. To every year we manage to be able to contend, and it's something that I'm proud of being a part of the footy club.
I love champions when they respond the way Tom Hawkins did last night. Duck made a really good point in the coverage last night that he would have taken it personally when Sam Taylor got the better of him a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but geez, he was magnificent last night.
Yeah, he was. I think in that game we probably let him down a little bit too with the way we were kicking him the footy, and Sam Taylor's a very good player, but we made him look like an absolute star, which he's going to be, no doubt. So, we got the ball in a contest a bit more for Hawk, and he probably positioned himself a little bit better than he did in that game as well. So, but as you said, proud person, and you don't play 301 games for without being able to respond in uncertain times.
Have you changed your game style a little bit, Mitch? You seem to attack, go inside 50 with a lot more method, rather than you play that game where you retain the footy, the kick mark. We even saw it a little bit the week before. You seem to the inside 50s were even 49 each. It was just your method that was better, and obviously your key forward stood up. But have you designed training around attacking the goal front a little bit more?
No, not really, Bern. But they play pretty hard one-on-one defence. So we knew we could kind of nearly manipulate where we took our opponents, and mean we could get good isolation for blokes like Hawk and Jezza. So we managed to get probably their defence a little bit higher. So when we went in, we had an open forward line. So that may have helped. And our efficiency was probably what stood out when we went in there. We were able to score more often than not, which was pleasing.
Talking to Mitchy Duncan. Hey, Mitchy boy, Parfitt out hurts, a midfielder, so maybe you could go in there now. You're two back from a spell, third up always at their best, so you could do that. But I see last night, Joel and Paddy spent a lot of time in the midfield, especially in that last quarter. I reckon the coach said, boys, just go for it. We've got about 2 or 3 games left, and we just want the most out of you boys. What do you think? You go into the midfield?
Yeah, Parf's going to be a big loss, no doubt about it. His tackle pressure's probably nearly the best in the comp, and add something a bit different to our group. I think, those big boys that you mentioned before, Joel and Paddy, they're going to get to work. Obviously, against a great midfield with Petrarca and Oliver and Lonnie and Harms, they all sat pretty deep in there as well. So, you might see me push through their bill, but I'm not 100% sure that there'll be a few boys putting their hands up for that role. I thought Maxie Holmes did a few okay things last night, and he's just getting better and better as.
What about that goal he missed?
He developed. Yeah, that was. I don't know how he missed that, but at least he's putting himself in those positions to hit the scoreboard, which is pleasing. So, to answer your question, I'm not actually sure who's going to be playing in there, but I'm happy to put my hand up if that was the case.
Yep.
And Mitch, the ladder after the home and away season said that Melbourne was the best team in it. Is that your view of that team, the team you're playing next week as well?
Yeah, I think they're obviously very dangerous. We saw firsthand how good Port were as well. So, whether they're the best team, I think we're the best team. But they've got obviously a lot of threats, and we probably do go in as the underdog this week, and
good.
The pressure's right on them.
Hey, Mitch, my understanding is you're coming out of any form of lockdown soon, or if you haven't already, is that true? Are you able to function as normal human beings in Perth this week?
Not this week, JB. Not until after the game. So hopefully we win, and then we can explore Perth a little bit, albeit not too much. But not until after the Saturday morning next Saturday morning. Yeah.
What does that mean then? You're stuck. You're down in Freo. You've got to stay within the hotel. What does a day look like?
Yeah, the days off get quite long, but as I said before, we're lucky enough to be all together, and we talk a lot of smack like you boys do on this show, and amuse each other. So it's actually, we're very lucky to see where we are. And
You summed that up beautifully.
when you
I
say
talk 'cause I didn't think it was that funny, but I'm getting a lot of laughter.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it.
when you say get out and explore, what's one of the first things you'll do? Let's be honest. None of the players this year, Bill, have had normal lives.
No.
So
You go and
so
have a
when
look
you
at the
actually get let off the
clockers.
what happens with a dog when you get let off a leash?
Well, you go across
When
to
you
that
beat- when-
island, whatever it's called, and have a look at
when
the
you've been
clockers.
when you've been on a leash for so long, you get let off. You just go wild.
Yeah, or just a nice coffee in a cafe would
Yeah,
do me.
okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Just something, just simple pleasures.
That wasn't
But
what
then-
Duck was thinking of.
I'll
Night
hopefully wait.
Cliffs or any of those nightclubs still open over there?
Shut
Yeah,
up and
well,
let
the
him
Trade
speak.
Winds Hotel's a nice little bar, and they're just below us, so we might duck down there for a couple of cheeky ones at some stage, if we're allowed to.
So you should.
Jeez, you're hanging for that.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. You've just been tied up all year, Bill.
Yes, exactly.
And you're about to play in a prelim and they let you off.
the post office. What else used to be done? Remember?
Never listen to Bill.
Listen
Go
to
to the
Bill.
post office. Yeah, we'll lick some stamps.
No,
What are you going to do?
That was a nightclub,
What
Bill.
the hell
That
is
was a
wrong
JB.
with him?
used to go there with Mouse.
Oh, yeah. Mitch,
Now,
you're not missing Fat, are you? Like, you're not missing having him dagging off you.
no. Oh, the Prince of Paco. I haven't seen him for a while, but he does laps up and down Packing Street a fair bit.
Oh.
Don't worry, the
Well,
wives
throws
and
The
Throws
Prince.
his hand out and makes you come into the Cremorne. So, the Cremorne, great pub.
there you go.
Oh,
I look after Mac's missus and your missus. They're down in Paco. I have to buy them coffees all the time and
You
all
do.
those bloody kids everywhere.
There's a few running around now, isn't there?
Crikey. Max, what's he got? 4? You've got 2.5, 3?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Two and a half. He's got a
One on the way.
Well, he's one on the way.
One on the way.
Mitch, we're going to let you go. And I don't think there's any more questions Bill can ask without making a complete idiot of himself. Well played. Not only your own form in the last 2 games, which has been outstanding, but the Cats back to what they do really well last night. Congratulations. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Mitch.
Mitch Duncan Star.
He's,
That's what it is.
you know what? It's there's certain players that you just know. It doesn't matter how much footy
Rely
they
on.
miss. They come in and they just pick up where they left off.
Hey, I
That's
liked
what he's done.
liked your commentary last night, and you're on this too. 41 free kicks last night. Too many free kicks in a final, wasn't there? And they were
Tiggy Touchwood.
They were little, and both sides got
Yeah,
them, by the way.
Little Tiggies.
Little
I
tiggies.
don't get it though, Damo. Normally they put the whistle away in
Yes.
finals. Why is that not happening now?
I don't know, Jim, and I think you know my views on a lot of those whistles that are going out are either not getting the holding the ball right or the disposal right. So, there's a few issues that the new footy operations
You're
boss, I
damned
think,
if
needs
you do.
to bed down.
Sorry, Dan. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't when you work in this industry, especially when you're doing the coverage, because you don't want to sound like you're just whining about the umpires all the time and saying they got that wrong, they got that wrong, that's wrong. And then if you don't mention it, people go, he doesn't say anything. Yeah.
Well, but this is
You just can't. You can't win. We can't win.
Bernard, this is my point with it. And we all can't stand players that crumple at the knees and throw their head back and all the rest of it. But they're being incentivised to do it because they're getting a free kick when they do it. If you say play on, the players will play on and they won't carry on with any of that crap.
It's the Tiggy Touchwood forward ones for me. They're just the little like arm or the touch of the arm and free kick. It's just
Which
too
result in
soft.
goals,
Yeah,
which are bloody
absolutely.
important.
If in doubt, they should just
Put it
let it go.
away.
At the moment, I feel like even last night, if they were in doubt and they just paid it rather than not paying it, they just
Too
I
many.
agree with you.
And you
Sorry.
can't guess. You can't guess.
No.
Enough coming up. We've got the quiz, special guest coming up as well. Lots still to enjoy on a big Saturday rub.
Footy.
All right, so we got Duck here in very nice September form because he actually did dominate this time of year. We've got Bill thinking he's in good September form, and he actually didn't dominate this time of year.
2.5 Bill.
Gobbles is the nightclub I was thinking of about over in Perth. Wow.
Gobbles.
Me and
Have
my
a
old
listen
mate
Did you
to
say
Bill.
that?
Me and my old mate Phil Lorcan did. We do some
that's-
damage.
Bill, you're going back to the 80s.
Yeah,
for Gobbles.
Exactly. I
What
got
about the-
$1,000 drink card.
Llama bar.
1,000. It was the biggest card you've ever seen. It was back and front, and we couldn't leave until we drank
Well,
it.
what about the old hippie club?
Hippie Club was another one. No,
The Subiaco was.
Red Sea and Subi. All right, so what we've got is Bill thinks he was good in September. Actually, he wasn't. Duck was phenomenal in September. What about yourself, Bernard? What sort of
Billy,
finals football did you bring to the table, please?
Well, okay. I was okay. No, I didn't play any too out of my skin. Just got the job done. Was just happy to be there.
Who
really.
did you tag in the finals?
No, I didn't tag them. Yeah, for God's sake. Single-handedly got Melbourne back into the finals too. Changed their culture. Look where they are now. Want me to keep going, Bill?
And of course, we've got September Barrett over there in Perth.
A hot breakfast.
He's just ringing up radio shows saying I can give you a tight 5 minutes. That's how he's rolling.
And I'll put them all to sleep.
You know what else I picked up? Why does he call you the Purple Man?
Yeah, the Purple Man.
The Purple Man.
And bro,
Ask him, Duck. You work with him on Friday nights.
No, well, actually, he did some work with us last night.
Very
obviously.
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Duck.
Basil's Mr. Perth. He's the Lord Mayor.
walk and talk.
All right. Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
Nice
we
one.
weren't allowed to say that last night.
No, and he doesn't want that brought up, but he is actually the Lord Mayor.
Yeah.
But it's time for this, host Mary.
I told you, homeboy.
That's what you call a nuff-nuff.
Yeah, that's how we living, and you know.
Like a nuff.
Break it down.
All right, Bernard.
Yes, a full book today, Jim.
Come
full
on.
book, boys. And just about everyone gets involved here today. And just to kick us off, I heard this advertisement during the week. And, well, if you're a monk, you don't want to be caught here.
Trouble in the temple. The monk caught shopping at Sexyland.
Is that a current affair?
Yes, it's a current affair. Monday night.
Current affair Monday.
Hose, you? How'd you know that, Hose?
So,
Hang on, it's not illegal to shop there, is it?
Oh, if you're a monk.
Well, if you're a monk,
Probably if
they're
you're a
not
monk, you're
allowed.
not wandering in.
probably not
In the
walking out with
saffron
those.
robes.
what do you reckon he's looking for? What would he buy?
Anyway,
I was going to ask you that, Bill. What do you think?
No, I think
I don't want Bill
Don't
to
ask
answer
Bill.
that.
It's like a
going,
video
Bill.
shop, though.
don't give him a chance to answer that.
Oh, Champs is...
No,
No.
Bill. Thank you.
Oh, Champs has featured a few times in this segment, and, well, he should know Jay Clark by now. We all know him, and this is how he went.
Having a couple of beers, and he was just sort of, he's sort of looking at me funny, and then he goes, "'Cause you do the stats, don't you, mate? Like we used to do the stats, Ash and that." I'm like, "No, that's
Thanks, Champs.
it's not me, Champs."
Trying to say how well he knew him, and we did all this. And, yeah, aren't we good mates, Ash? No, that'll be Jay-Z. Hey, now last week the quiz. There's all those rules when they answer. Not allowed to say g'day and all this stuff.
Oh.
Now we need enough ourselves here. Actually, I'm going to blame you, Bill, because you're involved, and probably Will for letting this through. How did we miss this?
Alex in Mornington. G'day, Alex.
Just picked up a bag, getting a six-pack.
Oh, a six-pack.
Yeah,
Oh, of what?
Vicks.
Vicks. Oh, no, they're hardened on drinkers, Jim. Now,
Just picked up a what?
Well,
Bill,
no.
how did we not drop him?
I let it go, and it was
Oh, you heard
radio.
it.
It's radio craft not to mention that, and I said
Oh.
six-pack.
Oh, is that what you did? So you noticed it, did you?
Well, yes, I did, as a
Oh,
matter
you
of
did.
fact, and
Yeah.
it's radio craft.
Oh, Radio Craft,
Yes.
yeah. Well, next time I need some Radio Craft, I might come to you. Hey, now, Duck, you tried to say last week, I think you were trying to say trajectory.
Oh, yes.
But, and you knew you were done because you gave up on it. And you started giggling for the rest of it. Let's have a listen back.
Is he a better player? I thought he was on this directory a number of years ago.
Directory. And you knew, the best thing about that was you knew you were done. You ended up just giving up on it. You're like, you know what? Stuff it. I'll just move on. And you're looking at me. And now, boys and Jim, you know this. When you're calling a game, you need to be careful of some last names. And, well, you need to choose your words carefully. And old Isaac Cumming obviously plays for the Giants. BT sort of went down the wrong path.
Nice banana.
Gee, Cummings swallowed all of that, didn't he? Bloody just showing him a ripper.
Wow. Oh, no. BT. Speaking of Radio Craft, maybe you should have a word to him, Bill.
You'll get in hot water with that.
Who?
Brian, he could.
He'll be all good. We'll move on. Hey,
Ream.
speaking of Buddy, you know, last week he had 8 goals to kick his 1,000th. Well, BT, he was battling last week because he thinks he's still a mile away.
995 to go.
He's on 5.
Come on, Brian.
we all knew what he meant, but sometimes the pressure just gets to you. Hey, speaking of Buddy, and this involves you, Jim, the scene was set. He was going to be the hero. There's no better hype or occasion commentator than you, Jim. You can build it up like no other. Play it.
This is what you pay someone a brick a year to do. All right, Joey?
All right.
The big, fabulous moolah comes to this man because when these moments arrive, he misses. Beautiful. Come on, bud.
You did that very well. You just let down by the big bud. Hey, now, Howie, he's been, well, I'm just going to put this plain and simply. He's been hanging around Nath Brown and Bluey too long. Listen to him try and say 14.
14-point lawyer, Poi, 14-point leader. I've done an 8.
What the hell? What was that? Do we need to hear that again, Rose?
Yeah.
14-point lawyer, Poi, 14-point leader's 8. I've done an 8.
Sounded more like a chipmunk every day.
It's like he sucked on a helium balloon.
What the hell was that?
If you put that with Nath's bit, that'd be an interesting little sentence.
I watched Alvin the other day.
Alvin Purple?
No, the chipmunk.
Alvin.
You really are back in the
When they're in
70s,
the
aren't
cinema,
you?
man.
Hit it, Hose. He's putting everyone to sleep like Damo.
Nuff of the week.
Now, tough one. I'm going to nuff the entire Sunday Rub team because they're all involved here, and I just couldn't pinpoint it down to anything. Now, it started off with everyone talking over each other, and Duck, you're involved.
Yep.
Have they got the midfield depth? And do they apply?
Well, they've got a pre-season to build on that. They've got picks to build on that.
And a defensive mindset will help the midfield be able to defend. Now,
And also
the art of... You go, Duck.
No.
There's just there's been a testosterone battle there between Duck and Brownie, and I'll tell you who won. Duck, he got the last laugh. Listen to this.
How did you feel, Brownie, in September?
Well, from the 6 finals,
He was generally on holidays.
Jay, we played 6 finals.
He felt great.
Actually funny, Duck.
Nice.
I think you got the last laugh, Duck. Very, very well played. Hey, it was a big week for Ross last week too, and well, he just lost his ability to speak as well.
What they've done's been exceptional. He was given clean hair. As a coach, he's grabbed it.
Clean hair.
Clean hair. Shampoo.
And, well, Ash is involved too. He's usually pretty flawless with everything he talks about, but, well, he wasn't too good with people's heritages.
Kicked it straight to the man with the Spanish surname Laverde.
So Laverde, short ball finds Merritt. Ash?
Yes,
Laverde.
for Red Z, Italian background.
You told us for the last 3 months.
all of us
Spanish.
have had a dab at it. We've come up with 5 different nationalities.
Not all of us have. You have.
He
Most
texted
of
me
us
during
have.
the week to apologise that he told me he was Spanish.
You've been saying that for 2 years, Chew.
Oh, no.
Come on, Chew.
It's French, isn't it?
Oh, you're throwing another one in, Bill, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Hey,
I'm been to Paris.
Have you? Yeah, oh, that makes you French.
I've been to Paris.
I've had a croissant,
Hey, speaking of Ash, he doubled down. He just come up with a completely irrelevant stat after that.
Brownie, Bombers' lowest score in a final is actually 14 points all the way back in 1897, but at this stage they're on target for their lowest score in a final since 1902.
What was the weather that day, Chewy?
It was absolutely shocking. How was it?
They didn't score a lot in the 1800s, though.
And that's exactly and the
Where was
actual
that played?
stats. That was played.
What was the average points for in the 1800s?
Metrical Stadium.
Yeah.
Go, I'll give you a minute. Get back to us.
No, the one in 1897.
It's got LO. I assume that's Lakeside
Lakeside
Oval.
Oval.
Yeah.
They scored 14 in that game. What did the opposition score?
They actually won the game by 6 points. 8 points.
Oh, they won.
The Bombers won.
Game video style.
You can't take those stats. They're not serious.
That's actually correct.
Is Damo with it?
He's come up with a stat of the lowest score in a final being 14, and they actually won the game. So irrelevant. So he gets a clip for that.
Imagine
now,
being
Brownie.
at that game. 14 beating 8.
Speaking, they say old footy was the most entertaining. Well, maybe
They
not that
flooded
old,
the back line, Jim, I heard.
Imagine listening to it.
Hey, Brownie. Now, oh, geez, he filled my book up this week. Well, he tried to get funny at some stage, and I don't reckon it suits him.
No.
Waterman by name, not by nature today, Ash. Struggled in the wet.
How long's he planned that for?
He's done a Duano and
A Basil.
a Basil, just written them down beforehand. I've got to slip them in.
And Bill, you mentioned earlier the montage of Brownie. Well, I just want to give you a quick listen because there's a little follow-up to it.
Triple M red leads ending stats. Thought he might have been tunnelled there, Mycroft. Out to the end of the arc.
So he's done that, right? But he's gone again. Now, this could be all-time worst.
Oh.
Shovel towards Perkins at half forward. Bailey Miller-Williams.
We have to add that one on the end now, Rose.
Okay, one more time.
I need that in the
Shovel
open.
towards Perkins at half forward. Bailey Miller-Williams.
And just to finish it off.
Oh, don't
now,
tell
to
me.
finish it off with Brownie. Now, I think he just sums up his calling ability perfectly. Here it is.
This has been a destroyation.
Come on, Nate.
Another word. I don't know whether we can keep running with him on air.
I'll tell you who we go next to. You got Bluey.
Oh, no. He's on holiday. He's gone. He's on holiday. We're leaving him alone. Apparently, it's stress leave, not actually holiday. But I said I wasn't going to mention him today. But, well, Hose, if you've got it, you play.
No, don't.
No, I'm not doing it.
Just to send him off on a good note.
Hose is looking after him. Well
That's
done.
enough.
Brownie, I don't think lockdown's been good for him.
He needs a holiday,
Some
Jim.
blokes are okay being put away. Other blokes need to be let out. And I reckon Nath falls into the latter category. We've got the quiz still to come.
Yes.
Special guest still to come.
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the rest of this show. For Hard Yakka, of course, a history of hard, McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. All right, we have got the quiz coming up. I'm about to hit the sting, but before we do, 133353 is the number, Hose. People need to ring us right now to get involved in this quiz. 133353. The prices are unbelievable. Here we go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Triple M's magnificent segment, the Saturday Rum Quiz. Here's your host, Billy Brownless.
Aaron, Benji and the magnificent team at TaylorMade. You get the TP5 golf balls. Bernard uses them. He's in the only state in Australia you can still play golf.
Yep.
But, of course, you also get their Spider putter from TaylorMade and Hose Mary.
Yep.
In the middle of a putting green.
So that's what you get when you win.
I know, Jim.
But you've got to answer 10 questions correctly. And when Bill says hello to you, just tell us what you're doing.
We don't want to say, oh, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, because then you get donged.
Donged. Okay, away now in the quiz. G'day, Nick from Hawthorn.
G'day, Bill. Yeah, just
You
No.
repeated the rules too.
Just repeated, and Nick's just sitting there.
No, g'day, hello. Just tell us what you're doing.
Yes. G'day, Jack. How are you?
Just eating some oysters.
Oh, oysters.
Hello.
Not crayfish.
No, Bill, just oysters.
No, he said oysters.
Yeah, well,
Kilpatrick or natural?
Yeah.
Going in raw.
Ooh,
That's
Natural.
that's natural. You got to have the bacon, don't you?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
a bit of Worcestershire, bit of Worcestershire and
Bit of lemon.
Hard to
I would
say.
have thought that. Right.
Worcestershire.
is it?
Now, righto, Jackie boy. After losing to Brisbane, this is all semi-finals, week 2 of the finals, semi-final stuff. After losing to Brisbane in a qualifying final, who did Richmond play in a semi-final in 2020?
The Saints.
Oh, all right then.
Oh,
bang.
she's
Jesus.
bang.
I had no idea. Richmond won that 80-49. Saints just went out the back door. Question 2 now. On their way to the 2019 grand final, which Giants player scored a goal in the dying minutes to defeat the Brisbane Lions in a semi-final? Remember that? This bloke kicked a goal, dying minutes, to get them over the line. The Giants won 83-80 there, Jack.
What year was it?
Maybe back in 2019.
Little fella.
The little fella.
What? Both his.
Sorry.
He was looking it up too. Oh, Jim, who? Oh, Tom.
No.
He's from St. Germain's over there in Paris. I know it. Hello, Tommy.
Just cleaning the shed, boys.
Oi.
How old are you, Tom?
I'm 13.
And you're cleaning the shed.
I am.
What's the old man doing? Crikey, you can do that. Good on. Who you barrack for, Tommy?
Back from Melbourne.
Melbourne. Bad luck this Friday, Tommy.
I'm hoping that will get over the line. So
Yeah.
I can just hear myself on the radio.
Very good on you, Tom.
Righto, Tommy, on their way to the 2019 Grand Final, which Giants player scored a goal, dying minutes, and they defeated the Brisbane Lions in the semi-final, mate?
Caleb Daniel.
No.
Oh, close.
Sorry, Tommy.
Mr.
Close.
Brightside. Too
Jeez,
good
that's
for him.
close.
Well done, Bill in Macrae. Hello, Billy.
Drinking some in-date Carlton draft.
In date.
Yep.
As compared to what? You normally drink
Out
it
of
out of... Yeah, I gathered that. Yep.
They've
Right.
got 9 months before they go out of date.
9 months.
Yeah, so
I
you
didn't
got to
know
drink
that.
them within 3 months, and then they're really good.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think you've... Anyway, Bill, on their way to the 2019 Grand Final, which Giants player scored a goal, dying minutes?
That would have been Brett Daniels.
Brant Daniels, exactly.
So Caleb, little Tommy was Caleb.
Yeah. Close,
right
Tommy.
You were half right, half.
Ring back and we'll... Oh, we probably haven't got a prize for him, have we? It's going to give him some profits. Question 3 is a lifeline. Righto, here we go. You got Duck. You got Damo, who I think he's still with us, and Byrne, okay? In the 2016 semi-final between the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn, who shrugged off Luke Hodge and kicked a goal late in the third quarter to seal the win for the Dogs?
Bill, I'm going to need some help from Damo Barrett, who's just sitting in his little hotel room over there in Perth.
It's clipped him.
Damo?
In the third quarter, Bill.
Yes, I don't write the questions. Shrugged off Luke Hodge
Don't sit there and make out you know this, Dave.
and kicked a goal late in the third
You should
quarter
have come to me because I know it.
to seal the win. Yeah, you probably...
It's still a win in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I can't in the third quarter. I can't recall this, but I know Stringer had a game, but I'll go with Stringer.
I wouldn't go with that. I'd use another lifeline. He can use 2 lifelines, can't he?
Well, you would only know the answer, Duck, because you've seen the answer.
I
So
have
maybe
not
go
seen the
with
answer.
Duck.
Tim, can we go with another lifeline or is one it?
Can't he use...
No, he can go with his own answer, though.
Yeah.
It sounds like don't go with Stringer, though, man.
So, who do you think?
I will go with my own answer here.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Clay Smith.
No. No, it's not. But he was all right. What was that in the prelim, I think?
Righto.
Well done,
he
Johnny and Bendigo. Oh, how's Bendigo?
Just walking the dog. It's not too bad.
He's pumped up to be on the quiz. Oh, Johnny boy. Righto, Johnny boy. Here we go. Did you hear that? In 2016 semi-final between the Dogs and Hawthorn, someone shrugged off Luke Hodge and kicked a goal late in the third quarter to win. Who was
He
it?
can use a lifeline.
And Damo's out. He got that wrong. Him and Basil are just having crayfish over there. So you got Duck or Bernie?
I'll go Dark, please.
Duck.
Well, the reason why I remember
How
this...
do you know this? Yeah.
You know, I remember
How?
because... And the guy, he just won the MVP, Bill, and by the way, deserved it. Bontempelli was
So how
the one.
can you remember it, but?
Because it was obviously a big moment in the game. He shrugged
Which
off.
ground
How
was
did
it,
he
Duck?
do
And
it?
which
Yeah.
end of the ground was
Which
it?
end of the
Yeah.
ground?
But no, which
The
ground was
city
it
end,
then?
you dig that.
It's just blatant,
Isn't it?
It's
The city
blatant
end.
cheating.
With the city end, was it?
Bontempelli.
Jeez, you're a bloody...
Did it bounce before it went through?
Yeah.
And it,
Or
you
did
know
it go
what?
through on the full?
It spun, and it went through.
Did it bounce first?
Yeah.
On
So
the
who
full.
are you saying?
Went
Oh,
at
that's wrong.
Bontempelli.
Nah, it bounced.
Bontempelli. What do you reckon there, Johnny boy?
Yeah, going with that. Thanks, Dark.
Blatant cheating.
Question 4. In 2009, Johnny boy, Jack Anthony.
Well, back to back.
Jack
I know what this question
scored a controversial match-winning goal for Collingwood to defeat which team in the semi-final?
is. This a lifeline?
No, it's
I know
not.
this.
Well, 35 points up, too, at one stage.
24 at half time, mate.
Oh, okay. John?
I'm thinking I'm going to get this wrong, but let's go Freo.
No. You got it. If Bernie knows what's going on here, I'd go with Bernie. Matt and Cranbourne. Hello, Matty.
Bill just went through a breathalyzer, mate.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Still driving?
How'd you go?
Yeah.
How'd you go?
000.
Oh, good. Didn't light it up.
0.04.
How did you go?
I
I reckon if he hadn't gone well, he wouldn't be on the
That's
field.
right. I hope you're not going through it on the phone. Imagine that. Hang on, boys. I've just come on
Bill's
the
here.
quiz.
I think the cop was all about it when he heard what it was, so it's all good.
Well done. Now, Matty boy, who Jack Anthony scored a goal, match-winning goal, late in this game against Collingwood. Who did they defeat?
Against Collingwood?
No, for Collingwood. Against whom?
Was it Melbourne?
No, it wasn't, Jack.
Close.
Oh, I reckon we need a break here,
Do you
Bill.
reckon?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
we're only up
need
to
a
question
break.
4.
I know, but
Hang
you're
on.
going to have to whir your way through the back half.
Bryce and Wayne and Trent
Oh,
from Marutna.
Oh, I
Hope
like
he
it.
is.
Alex is in Shep. It's going well up there.
Marutna's next door.
You told me not to clip people while they're down.
What we'll do is we'll get to a break.
I don't know if we take Alex, Jim, to be honest, from Shep.
No, you
Well,
might
there's nothing else going on.
No,
for him
no,
to do
come
up there.
through the...
Yeah, exactly.
It
We
won't
might end up
come through the
somehow
microphone.
Might come
contaminated.
through the...
133353. Get on the phone for the quiz. Hard Yakka, McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Right, so some speed on the game now, Fat.
Okay, but first of all, over to you, Bert.
Yeah, I've just got a little text message being sent through from the great Texan, and we know
Texan!
how honest he is.
Tex.
And yes, a big shout out to Tex. He said, "Tell Bill to hurry up with his shit quiz. We're waiting for you. I'm catching up with him after, so hurry
Get
up.
on with it, Bill.
Get on with
Tell,
it.
what's the number? Tex can ring up and we'll get him...
13353.
And we'll get him on the quiz.
Oh yeah.
By the way, has Damo got a contract over there, do you reckon? I've just picked up on something.
Right, we'll get to that after the quiz.
So we've got to get
because-
through the quiz.
Yeah, I know. But
Question 4. In 2009, Jack Anthony scored a controversial match-winning goal, Tex, for Collingwood to defeat which team in the semi-final? Bryce?
Bill, Cats were good.
Yes, they were, Bryce. Thank you. How are you? Welcome to the quiz. Give me the answer, please.
Adelaide Crows.
Yes! And I reckon Tex was playing. He only kicked one goal 4. He let him down that day.
Oh, he did. Yes.
Did he? I don't know. Question 5 is a lifeline. So Damo's out, Duck's out, so only got Bernie over there.
Bernie, oh, Bernie.
Hurry up, Bill.
A semi-final between which two teams went to extra time in 2007? Cats won it that year. A semi-final between which two teams went to extra time in 2007?
Jeez, so he has to choose me.
If he wants to, you can choose Bernie. Bryce?
I'll go with Bernie. Why not?
Yeah.
You got no one else.
Choice here. Well, you just gave half the word away, so I'm going to say I was thinking about Port Adelaide and West Coast, but that was more recent.
2007.
Collingwood, and
He gave the answer.
and West Coast. Did they play West Coast?
Well, Bryce?
Bryce?
Pricey.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Oh, I'd go with
Bernie's
Bert.
just giving the answer.
on.
Oh, he's
West Coast will do.
Collingwood and West Coast.
72 apiece at the bell. Collingwood won by 19 points. Number 6 now, as he goes into third. How many goals did... Oh, bloody Nick Davis. Don't tell me. I haven't read this. How many goals did Nick Davis kick in the final quarter against Geelong in that 2005 semi-final win for bloody Sydney?
Great memories.
Shut up, Damien. Bryce?
Yeah, I reckon it was 3, Bill. I reckon I had about 3.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Bryce.
Pricey.
End of Pricey.
Oh, Wayne's there in old Tassie. Where are you from, Wayne?
Gilson Bay, Billy.
Gilson Bay. Where's that?
In Tassie, mate.
Yeah, I gathered that, right. Now, how many goals did Nick Bloody Davis kick in that final quarter against the Cats back in 2005 there, old Wayne?
4.
4 it was.
Oh, unbelievable, wasn't it?
Huge.
He only had about
massive
4
win.
goals at three-quarter time, and he kicked 4. Still talks about it. Big bum and all that.
I noticed when Toby Green got rubbed out, he put out a tweet saying if anyone needs a small forward to kick goals.
Question 7, Bill. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Essendon currently have a 7-game losing streak in finals. 7-game losing streak in finals,
Thank
Jim.
you, Bill. Yeah.
Dating back to a semi-final loss in what year there, Wayno, from Gilston's Bay?
2004.
Oh, well
I
done.
know
Wayno.
stuff,
Well,
Wayno.
6,000 days.
Well done. Number 8, Lifeline. Boys, all the boys are back in here. Name 4 teams that have won a premiership since the year 2000 after playing in the second week of finals.
Jeez.
Hang on.
That means they lost the first. Does that mean they lost the first week of finals?
Have we got Lifeline here?
Yeah, you got 3 of them. You got Duck, Damo, or the bloke over in Adelaide.
Legend.
Yep. I'm all over it.
Oh, Duck's all over it.
That you, Bill?
That's it.
All right, go with Duck.
I'll go with Duck.
That was Duck.
We'll go with Duck then.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you? Well, I'm pretty sure the Tigers did it last year. I know the Bulldogs have done it.
How do you know that?
I know Hawthorn have done it.
Reading it.
I know West Coast have done it. And I'm pretty sure Sydney's done it as well, so you can go with all of those.
You are a cheat, mate.
Oh, look what I just wrote there, Bill. How am I cheating?
No, I
All right,
can't.
Wayno.
You're going to be... We're going to have a chat about
Sounds good. We'll go with Duck.
He read that exactly like it was Richmond, Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, West Coast, Sydney.
What
Exactly how it
years, Duck? Can you line up the years as well?
Yeah, he can't tell us
Well, he
that.
can't have that much
Number
time.
9, we're nearly there, Wayno from Tassie. In 2002, a long time ago, Adelaide defeated Melbourne 130-118 in a classic semi-final at the MCG. Who were the two coaches of the teams?
Oh, 2002.
A long time ago.
Oh, yeah. The Adelaide one.
When
Neil
I
Craig?
was just a boy.
What was that?
Neil Craig?
No.
No.
Don't like Wayne. Oh, Amanda from Dublin, to be sure. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Are you from Dublin?
I am.
Where?
I'm Irish. No.
South Australia, isn't
Dublin, South Australia.
Is there a Dublin in...
Yeah.
Where?
South Australia, on the way back to the
Australia.
beautiful York Peninsula.
And then you've got all that Germany bloody names over there.
Harndorf.
Horndorf and all that.
Harndorf.
Horndorf.
The other way.
What kind of state is South Australia?
That's
Wow,
a great one.
Yeah.
What about Bill just ripping a bit of Don McLean into his quiz? Like, honestly, this is the worst.
Amanda, what are you doing?
I reckon it was Gary Ayres.
That's one.
That's
I'll
what
give
she's
you
doing.
one.
The other coach?
The other coach. Adelaide defeated Melbourne in a classic, Amanda, from Dublin.
Neil Danaher.
Wow. Who told you that, Amanda?
Just a guess.
Oh,
I
good
like it.
guess.
All right.
Gary Ayres and Neil Danaher. This is it.
Oh, question 10.
In 1989, Amanda. Oh, that's a while ago too. Gary Ablett kicked 7 goals. Barry Stoneham kicked 4 goals for
Put
Geelong.
himself in another
I see what's going to happen.
No!
He's put himself
Don't write the question.
No.
He was in last
You've got to
week.
stop doing this, Bill.
In a semi-final, a big win over Melbourne, Amanda. Which Cats player kicked 3 goals, 3 and gave away 7? Had 5 tackles.
And 10 one-percenters.
Yes. Amanda?
Is there a lifeline?
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Amanda. No. You got it. Come on, Amanda.
It's a real obvious one, Amanda.
Stick with us, Amanda.
Who's your
to you.
favourite cat,
He's talking
Amanda?
to you.
He's talking to you.
Billy Brownlee?
Yes! Oh, what about poor old Shep and Marootan who were waiting for him? They got the
can't
arse.
believe it.
Hey, Amanda, well done. Do you play golf?
No, my husband does though.
Well, he will love what's coming his way. A dozen TP5, the best golf ball in the game from TaylorMade, the spider putter, and of course you get.
On the trampoline in the middle of a putting green.
So enjoy that, Amanda.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
bad. Just come in and
It's
win
a
all that.
long quiz, that one.
Oh, thank you.
Lost its way in the middle. Didn't it?
Text just wrote through again. Obviously, Bill didn't listen.
All right, we're getting to a break because we have a very special guest host.
Very special.
Coming up next, and I can't wait to speak to this man. A legend of September.
Yeah.
For Hard Yakka, McDonald's, and Remont Water. Triple M Rocks Footy.
McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Finals Footy.
All right, I'm looking forward to this. Burn, I know you're looking forward to this.
Yes.
Damo, I know you're looking forward to this. Duck, I know you're
Absolutely.
looking forward to this. This is one of the most astounding performances a final series has ever seen. Hit it, Hose.
Nick Davis, a chance from the pocket. Davis kicks a beauty.
No, not me.
This is the hope. He's the hope. Will he be the hero? Bravo. Swans are still alive.
Davis has kicked 2. He snaps from 40. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. He's kicked a goal. Unbelievable stuff from Nick Davis.
So it could go any second. Swans need a goal. Nick Davis.
Nick Davis.
I don't believe it. I see it, but I don't believe it. Flies through the capital C. 4 goals from Nick Davis.
Done.
No,
The Swans
no,
dead
no,
to rights
no.
at the SCG against the
Not.
Cats until Nick Davis
Bloody
stepped
Davis.
up to the plate and kicked 4 of the most extraordinary goals that a final has ever seen. And, of course, history was made weeks later. So Nick Davis joins us on the line now. Welcome to you, mate.
G'day, boys. G'day, Bill. How you doing?
Get stuck. Fair dinkum. Nick Bloody Davis. That's how he goes by.
I'll tell you what, at three-quarter time, if I had trotted out in the charcoal last night, you would have got a little bit worried.
Hey, how good are their jumpers, by the way?
Jumpers. I love the jumper.
Nick, I just had a look at your stats because I didn't know you were coming on. But you played 97 games for Sydney. You kicked 150 goals, so you average 1.5 goals a game, and you kicked 4 in a bloody quarter.
I was out of contract, Bill. Things were getting a bit desperate around contract time, and I thought, well, if this is the last game, I need to go out with a bit of a bang and re-sign. So pulled the finger out and landed in my lap.
Now, Nick, they tell me, are you still at Sydney? You still?
Yeah. Still at Sydney, so enrolled with the academy, and now obviously with the Swans getting a team in the AFLW, I'll be sort of heavily involved in that as well.
And you have a lot to do with Buddy. Very close with Buddy. Don't leave his side. Is it true?
Is that him? He's a plus one, isn't he?
You're the little pilot fish that sits under the...
That'd be right.
Hey, is that any truth in that?
Yeah, I'm the one that's got into 1,000. Don't worry about anyone else. No, he's all right. He does. He's done enough good work on his own, but he doesn't need me.
Hey, Nick, in all seriousness, is there a day that goes by where that particular performance doesn't come up in your life?
No, not when it's your ringtone, Damo. It's hard for it not to come up. But look, sort of over the last week, I've sort of had a few sort of people on some of the social media things ask if you can send, Father's Day messages to people who can't see their dads in lockdown, and they say, they were there at the game or they remember the game. So it's it was important for obviously the Swans and the club to get that win and win a grand final. But sort of as the years go on, it's been 15, 16 years now, the amount of people, that do reference it and they can remember where they were, no matter if they're at the game or Cats fans remember that they smashed the television or whatever they did, it does come up a lot. It does mean a lot.
Hey, Nick, I was there with BT calling for Triple M with the great Sam Newman doing special comments. And Sam, at three-quarter time, said to us in the ad break, Geelong will lose this game. And I said, Sam, not even as pessimistic as you can be about the Cats, can they lose this game of footy. Anyway, you started to turn it on. BT and I calling, and it was unbelievable. The atmosphere, as you know, was electric. After you kicked your fourth, the headphones that Sam had on his head came flying between Brian and I, hit the glass in the commentary box. I turned around, he had a bottle of Chardonnay and he was drinking it out of the bottle. That is 100% true.
The three-quarter
There's a number
time.
of those stories. Sorry, Bill. There's a lot of those stories. Gary Rowan, who was at the Swans, is a big Cats fan, and well done to Gary and the Cats last night. But he got in trouble from his mum. He threw his pie at the television. He got his bum kicked and got sent to bed. So there's plenty of those from the Cats fans.
Three-quarter time, Sydney, 3 goals, 12 they were,
that's it.
30. Geelong was 6-11, 47, Jim. So Sydney had only kicked 3 goals.
That's it.
Nick Bloody Davis stands up and kicks 4. Can you remember, I still remember Cameron Mooney crying out in the ground, and grown blokes, Joel Corey and Bartel Stevie J, they were all in tears. They just could not believe it because of you.
Yeah, I think was it Brenton Sanderson's last game maybe or something like that. I think there was a little bit of that, but look, I do. Tom Harley is obviously the big boss at the Swans, and Charlie Gardner's head of football. So I do. I run it past them every now and then. They get to see it a lot. They've got to be too careful. You don't want to rub the boss's nose in it too much, but I always let them know.
Hey, speaking of that situation, take you back to that last stoppage. Now, it was because Brenton Sanderson coached me at Adelaide. We used to replay this to him a bit when he told us off, basically. Now, I need to hear from the horse's mouth. Was he standing you, or was Hunt standing you? Because he says it wasn't. You weren't his man, and he argues this way and that. Can I know forever who was on you?
It was mate. It was Josh Hunt. It was Josh Hunt and Brenton Sanderson. I think he was standing Adam Snyder. So I think I went around Sando, and Josh Hunt got caught up in the traffic, and there's as I've sort of said, the seas parted, and for every player to be in the 50 and to not have a glove laid on you, it was extraordinary.
And you didn't control the ball either, really, did you?
No, because I was sort of waiting for, as I said, there was 36 players in the 50 and runners and trainers, and half the crowd felt like they were in there. And, to sort of run through a stoppage like that, and I was expecting, a little bit more, bit of body contact from somewhere. If I had it, I probably would have dropped it because I never really liked body contact. But I was lucky, I was able to get through. But the biggest thing is, and the look of the surprise on my face, I thought that Joel Corey, I thought it was touch. I honestly thought it was touch.
Oh.
I got a good enough piece of it. I thought it was going through, but I just wasn't sure that as I was going to the ground that it might have got a finger on it. But
hang on.
Hello. It wasn't Bill. It wasn't Bill, trust me.
No, we might have to go back.
Have a look, Bill.
Wow.
Hey, Nick, of the 4 goals you did kick, they're all individually extraordinary. Which is your favourite one, and which was the one that, in your eyes, was the most precise when it came to the skill?
Catching the floater that Ryan O'Keefe kicked out of the middle, that took a fair bit of skill to stand underneath and catch. Probably the third one, Damo. It was
the one running away from the goal?
Yeah, running away, sort of 40, 45 out. It sort of gets about 50, 55 out as the days go on. But probably the third one in terms of difficulty. But I've got 4 to choose from, Bill. So
Hey, Nick.
Quite hard.
And then 2 weeks later, you played in one of the great grand finals ever. In fact, there were 2 in a row. The West Coast Sydney grand finals were both nuts, but they must have been gut-wrenching to play in because we were all there watching them. You didn't know from the first minute until the siren who was going to win. As a player, that must have been just extraordinary.
Yeah, it was. Look, I probably spectated the first one, Jim, and I participated a bit more in the second one. I'd probably I'd burn all my carrots out in the semi-final and was resting on the laurels there for the first grand final, to be honest. But the second, it was they were great games, and even all the finals, we knew that we'd all both finish in the top 4, so we'd have 1, maybe 2 chances to play each other during the final series, and all those games in that period of time, I think it was 8 games in 16 points or something like that. So they were always close, but now working with Dean Cox and talking to the West Coast boys at that time, look, it would have been good to go back to back then as we got beat by a point in the second one, but look, to probably split it 1 each over that time, being probably the 2 dominant teams of that little bit of period was probably not a bad way to go.
And mate, surely regularly in Sydney especially, you get Swans fans coming up saying, "Nicky boy, I am buying you a beer."
Not enough at the moment.
Good, sucked in. Boy, some ass, Nick.
Because we're all stuck inside. But no, look, you do, James. As I said, it's meant a lot to not just myself, but to a lot of people, and it's good to be able to still have a bit of a fun at it and sort of put out the tweets last week that I'll go and play for the Giants and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to be able to. At least it didn't hit the post. At least I'm not. At least I'm not the guy that missed the goal to maybe let the Swans win. So it's still good to be able to remember it and have a bit of fun with it as well.
Well done, mate. Thanks very much for joining us today and reliving one of. Well, we just love how flat Bill gets every time again.
Nick bloody Davis.
Well done, mate. Thanks so much for that.
No worries, guys. Enjoy.
Davis, it was just the old enforcer. I seriously looked around and he had the Chardonnay bottle like that, just necking it. Damo, he didn't speak again. We did the post-match. He said, no.
At least he wasn't on air after the game when the callers ring in. And
oh, no.
Were you at the game?
No, we didn't. That was another time.
Oh, right, sorry.
You, sir?
Yeah. Very passionate about his cats was Sam, and that occasion I'm not.
You know what? He was, Jim, but he never showed it, and he didn't like to say barracks for the cats, and he loves them, all that. But some of the things he's done for that club, and bought that team of the century for,
and then gave it back to them.
Gave it back to him, and it's sitting in club cats.
Great man, of course. Nick Davis, brilliant, thank you. And we're going to get to a break, and we're back to wrap up, and then a bit of a spell, and then the game tonight.
We're out of the early quaddie, so.
Oh, no. I noticed how flat Duck was. I presume something must happen. For Hard Yakka, this is the Triple M Saturday Rub for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Nearly done with the Saturday Rub. Of course, the game coming up tonight we're going to chat about in just a moment. But for Ream Hot Water, Australia's favourite water heating, 80 years of manufacturing in Australia, Ream building Aussie tough water heaters for Aussie families fat in Aussie conditions.
I know, Jim.
Massive range, 6-star energy efficient models.
6.
Ask your plumber
Well,
And
not BT.
Brian,
Oh, boy.
listen to this line
Yes,
here.
yes.
Ask your plumber to install a ream. Don't try and do it yourself, Damo's the lesson we learn out of all of this.
Exactly.
What about
And have a helicopter on the ready if you do.
What about the airlifting for burnt eyelashes?
It's a big chopper.
Now,
It was an army one from Puckapunyal.
Western Bulldogs tonight take on the Lions.
Yes, Jim.
At the Gabba.
Yes,
Who
Jim.
wins that, Fat?
Well, I like the Dogs. I think they've got their mojo back. They played really good footy last week. Their midfield is very good, we know that, but they were back and they were kicking goals. And we spoke to him during the week, Aaron Norton, who's a good fella, isn't
Very
he? Good
nice
young
fella,
bloke. He's back
Never
in
heard
town.
of the Duck, though.
And Flea Waitman.
Really?
Yeah.
And Flea Waitman, I like him. But we did ask him, or you asked him, Duck,
What?
because
Who?
Aaron Norton apparently was nicknamed the Duck early days.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
No, I
knew
don't
that.
think he was nicknamed the Duck. I think there's something about him saying he's Duck or something.
After
isn't it?
you, was it?
Are you
I don't know.
comfortable with that comparison, Duck, with him?
He's on the
No,
right directory.
He's in the phone book, is he?
I do have a question about
Love the
tonight.
way he goes about it.
Do they play? Do Brisbane only play Joe Danaher as one tall, and then they got all the little fellas around him, Zorko and Lincoln McCarthy?
For
all that?
me, the game. Once upon a time,
Cameron.
this is where the game
Charlie.
has changed, Bill. If you haven't got a key forward, that you don't just put someone there just for their height.
Right.
They've got to be good enough to play there, and I think we've seen Richmond did it with just Rewalt, obviously in 17, and then they got Lynch and they won premierships with him as well. But if you don't have it, they tried for far too long to try to play two talls. You don't have to do that anymore. So yes, they can. If you want my opinion on the game, JB, Bulldogs were really good in the wet last week. Waitman, will he kick another 4? I just think their inability to kick scores over the last 4 weeks, and I know, like I said, they won last, but I just think Brisbane, you have to trust what they've done over the whole year, and their scoring ability, I think, will be too strong. So I think Brisbane. And the fact that it's in Brisbane,
the Gabba, yeah.
and they've come from freezing cold
To freezing cold.
to hot.
See where they were training yesterday?
No.
It was monsoon
Yeah,
up
but
in
it's-
Brisbane.
but it,
Was it? Yeah. There's some genuine weight on their shoulders, Jim, isn't there, given what has happened in the past 3 seasons? Finishing top 4, 2019, 20 and 21. Straight sets out in 2019. Won through to a prelim last year, but ultimately lost to the Geelong team last year in that prelim final, and then have lost their first one this year. So it's not reward for what has been really good consecutive 3 seasons of home and away footy, so that they just need to get through. I think to just convince themselves that they are legitimate top 4 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I'm on the Bulldogs train as well. I reckon they bounced back last week. That McRae, Bontempelli, Dunkley, Hunter, Bailey
Treloar.
Smith, you throw Treloar in. I just reckon it's too strong. And I saw Brisbane firsthand last week, really, really poor. And it covered over a few cracks. I reckon Cameron kicking 5. That should have been a bigger margin. And McStay out now as well. I sort of want Brisbane to win because I feel for them over the last few years. But I think the Dogs get it done.
Duck, you know that old Dennis Fagan, who doesn't pull any punches, which is what I love about him, old Chrissy boy. He's bloody direct.
Dennis.
And Zorko, McCluggage, Lions, etc. would have had their asses handed to them by the coach. They were, outside of Lachie Neale, the midfield was appalling.
Yeah, and I think
they won't
just-
be that bad again.
Exactly, and I think just like Geelong last week, they bounced back this week. I think Brisbane have that capability, and they have started to build this. I reckon a pretty good team, a team that doesn't have 2 bad games in a row, Bill. Yeah. And we've seen over that. So I just think their last 6-7 weeks, taking last week out of it, a bit like the Cats, I just think you say that's a bad performance. So for me, I trust that more.
And we do get sucked in, Jim, don't we? It's normally the top 4 sides get through to the prelim.
At straight sets
Although
doesn't
Bill,
happen
just
too often.
that record has evened out itself out. Since 2014,
Has it,
6
Basil?
teams.
Righto.
6 teams. No, if you want the stats, Bill, 6 teams have actually gone out in the straight sets since 2014. So that was really pronounced, to your point, the other way up until 2014. So it has evened itself out, and even more so since the bye was introduced after the 2016 season.
All right, I'll take that on board.
Can they kick enough score, Brisbane? with McStay out. I know
McStay doesn't kick goals.
I know he doesn't, but he provides that extra tool there, an extra
Yeah, he
option,
does.
brings it down, and that's just bring it to ground, brings Charlie Cameron into the game, and the other smalls as well. They've got McCarthy hits the scoreboard, but I don't know if we've seen the small forwards have a real impact actually in the first couple of weeks of the finals, but I don't know if they can rely on that again. I just worry for the Lions tonight.
Yeah, no, well, I look, Joe Danaher, if he hits the scoreboard, Charlie Cameron does, obviously McCarthy. They've got a few X factors that can hit the scoreboard. They'll have to get Bailey. They'll have to get some out of the midfield as well. But if you look at the other end, so let's look at the Bulldogs. I mean, as we said, Waitman kicked the 4, Norton kicked 3, a couple of them late. If he has a big influence, Norton has to have a big game for me.
Has to.
If the Bulldogs are to win, because I
of
don't
the two
think
teams
they
that
can
are already
manufacture-
through, Bern, who do you like best, and what you saw obviously for the 23 rounds of a home and away season, but probably more pertinently to this conversation, the qualifying finals, Port Adelaide and Melbourne?
Well, I think Port Adelaide played the best game of their year last week, which is a great time to bring it out. Their pressure and intensity was outstanding. Haven't seen it from them in that sense or in that capability all year. But I just think Melbourne are more consistent at it. Around the footy, their midfield, Melbourne, is unbelievable. Got a really good back line as well. Probably the only question is how they score. If they can shut down a Brayley Fritsch, it means Tom McDonald has to score, and he hasn't been real consistent in that area this year. So, I mean, I like Melbourne. And Ben Brown as well. He has hit the scoreboard, but I'm leaning towards Melbourne. I know I spent some time there, so I'm probably leaning a little bit because of that reason too. But my big question mark over Port Adelaide is backing it up again, doing that again. If they can bring that heat and intensity again, they 100% deserve to be right up there with the favourites. And to play a home final means they probably should at least get there. Then on the day, it's anyone's game.
My mail, Bernard, is that Melbourne are flying. They have got nothing wrong with virtually any of them. Hunt has got his issue.
Ankle.
But otherwise, the rest of the blokes that are going to run out against the Cats are tickety-boo.
But they've had a long
and they're
break.
in great shape.
I know, but
they're up and about. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win,
That's
but
right.
the mail out of their hub, if you like, is that they are in pristine condition.
Yeah, and the week off, they'll be. I agree. They've deserving.
Doesn't
favourites.
always go with you having that extra week off sometimes.
Well, the hardest.
You start slow
No, it doesn't.
sometimes.
The hardest thing. Prelims are often harder to win than the granny. So getting there. Once you're there.
Hawthorn proved that, didn't they,
Yeah,
Duck,
they
in
did.
their reign?
They
I'll tell
won
you-
3 prelims by less than a kick.
Sav will play because Lever will have to go and play on him.
What's Damo got in his head?
Well, we've been trying to work it out. We're looking at Damo
he
here on the
hasn't, has he?
Zoom.
Is this
and now you've got a cap on, Damo.
What
and
is that?
Can you tell us what the cap
what does the
reads?
cap say?
Yeah, what's it
Just
say?
tilt
What
your
does
head
it say,
forward.
actually?
City of.
No, you say you get it, Damo.
I've become an ambassador for the city of Perth. boys.
That's it. I'm done.
Tilt your head forward again.
Nah, that's it.
Just a little bit.
No, I've had enough.
Thank you.
So you're an ambassador of the city of Perth.
What's that emblem?
It's a
You and
Perth,
Baz.
emblem.
You and Baz.
So out of all the,
Basil's got me on the books, I think.
out of all the people that are going over to Perth for the grand final,
Yep.
they're using him as their pin-up
ambassador.
boy for WA
Yep.
tourism.
He's on the signs as you drive into Perth. Welcome to Perth, and there's Damo with his cap on, with his chilly glasses and 4 eyes. Hello! Welcome to Perth, kiddies! Fair dinkum. Wow, Bernard, mate.
Yes.
Don't they realise that they've got someone coming over there, Claremont Premiership player, West Australian
state
Sheffield
Reserves,
winner.
Jim.
They're
Reserves
going
Premiership
with
player.
purple. Old Forey. When you've got actual royalty bloody lobbing into the joint.
My biggest concern is you played in a premiership, Jim.
No, reserves Premiership. Reserves.
14 marks, what a trainer.
Oh, jeez.
Reserves. Didn't you play? Actually, didn't you play on Basil one game,
Yeah,
Jim?
and I kicked 9 against him.
Yeah, Jim played on Basil, believe it or not, in the reserves.
Oh, you need to get out of his way
Bernard,
when he turns around.
I'm telling you right now, it was and clean. I was too. Tough and clean. But anyway,
What are you and
enough about
Basil?
me.
What are you and
How
Basil
am
going
I
to
the
do?
ambassador?
What are you going to do this Arvo, you and Basil? Just sit around and play Scrabble or maybe some hopscotch or
I'll
something?
just open the door up here and get some fresh air into my quarantine room, Bill. It's a privilege to be here, Bill.
What the hell?
And then we'll plan Basil's show for Monday morning later this afternoon.
Apparently you'll sit down and have lunch and share crayfish.
We on this
We're looking forward to be
cheery
able to do that when I get out, Bill. Yeah.
we need to go. It's flattened me. The great state of Western Australia has headed towards purple.
Purple.
To promote the jaw. I suppose Ed couldn't get over there. So
Danny
You've
Green.
jumped in.
It was either me or Jake Niall, Jim, so I think I got the
What
points.
about Jake's question to
Oh,
Scotty
come on,
last
Jake.
night? That was
It was weird, wasn't it?
Ream Hot Water, Australia's favourite water heating, of course, from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Bernard, have a great time.
Enjoy
Say hello to the
Arvo.
Texan for us.
Yes, Tex,
He's
I'm
done it
coming
tough,
now.
but we love him,
mate.
On your
and
Tex.
we hope he's
He's
going
on
all right.
Yeah, I'm coming
Hey,
down,
Tex.
mate.
Hey,
See you,
We'll
boys.
speak to you shortly, of course. Duck, great to see you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
I'm doing the
And,
game tonight,
Fat,
by the way. Can't wait.
yeah, good work. And Fat, bugger off back to Geelong.
I will.
Rosie, well done.
Thanks, Hose.
Thank you.
Well done, Jim.
Thanks for listening. Ream Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M Rocks Footy.